History often tells the story of noise, wars, armies, conquests. Humanity remembers those who shout the loudest. But the things that truly change the world are often silent. Not a sword, not a crown, sometimes just a thinking mind. Electricity waited in the darkness for centuries. People saw it, but they did not understand it. They watched lightning, feared it, ran from it. They saw it as rage, as danger, as chaos. Until someone realized that it was not meant to be controlled, but understood. This is not a story of victory. It is not a success tale written in applause. This is the story of a man born far ahead of his time. He saw the future, but in his own era he stood alone. He illuminated the world, yet was forgotten in the dark himself. When you turn on a light today, when you power a device, when you use a system, have you ever wondered whose mind is working behind it? This video does not tell a legend. It tells a human story. His name is Nikola Tesla, and this is his story. Nikola Tesla was born on the night of July 10th, 1856, in the small village of Smiljan, in what was then the Austrian Empire, now modern-day Croatia, according to family accounts. A violent thunderstorm raged across the sky as he was born, lightning striking repeatedly, illuminating the darkness, as if the world itself were announcing something unusual. The midwife reportedly said, "The child would be a child of darkness," while his mother calmly responded that he would be a child of light. Whether myth or memory, this story followed Tesla throughout his life because it described him perfectly from the very beginning. He seemed tied to electricity, to energy, two forces unseen yet powerful. Tesla's father, Milutin Tesla, was a Serbian Orthodox priest, a strict, disciplined man who believed deeply in language, literature, and theology. He wanted his son to become a priest, or at least a man of letters. Tesla's mother, Juka Mandic, had no formal education, yet possessed an extraordinary mechanical intuition. She invented household tools, improved weaving devices, and solved practical problems effortlessly. Tesla later said that his genius came not from textbooks, but from watching his mother think. She could build machines in her head before touching a single object. In many ways, she was Tesla's first and greatest teacher. Tesla's childhood was marked by tragedy, brilliance, and inner struggle. His older brother, Dane, was considered the true prodigy of the family. Intelligent, charismatic, and admired. When Dane died in a riding accident, Nikola was only 5 years old. Some accounts suggest Tesla blamed himself, believing that a frightened horse reacted to his presence, whether true or not. The loss left a permanent scar. From that moment, Tesla lived in the shadow of a brother who would never age, never fail, and never be surpassed. It pushed him forward, but also haunted him deeply. As a child, Tesla experienced intense visualizations, flashes of light, and vivid mental images that appeared involuntarily. He could see inventions, fully formed, rotating, moving, functioning entirely in his mind. This was not imagination in the usual sense, but something closer to uncontrolled inner cinema. At times it frightened him. At other times it empowered him. He learned to control these visions and later used them as the foundation of his engineering process. Tesla did not sketch like other inventors. He built complete machines in his head, tested them mentally, and only then constructed them physically. Tesla excelled in school, particularly in mathematics, physics, and languages. He could perform complex calculations instantly and spoke multiple languages fluently. Yet his health was fragile. He suffered from cholera as a teenager, nearly dying during the illness. During this time, his father promised that if he survived, he would allow him to study engineering rather than theology. Tesla recovered and kept his promise alive, like a contract with destiny. He went on to study engineering in Graz and later in Prague, though he never completed a formal degree. Tesla absorbed knowledge obsessively, but struggled with authority, rigid systems, and expectations. He was not designed for institutional life. He worked briefly in Europe for electrical companies, including a position in Paris with the Continental Edison Company. It was there that his frustration with existing electrical systems reached a breaking point. Thomas Edison's direct current system dominated the industry at the time. It worked, but inefficiently, losing power over distance, requiring massive infrastructure, and offering limited scalability. Tesla saw its flaws immediately. In his mind, he envisioned a different approach, alternating current, a system that could transmit power over long distances, efficiently, safely, and cheaply. He proposed his ideas, but was dismissed. Management was not interested in theoretical revolutions. They wanted practical fixes, not paradigm shifts. In 1884, Tesla arrived in New York City with little more than a letter of introduction, a few cents in his pocket, and a head full of visions. He met Thomas Edison, who was already famous, wealthy, and influential. Edison hired Tesla, assigning him to improve his DC generators. Tesla worked relentlessly, often 18 hours a day, redesigning systems, increasing efficiency dramatically. Edison allegedly promised him a large bonus if he succeeded when Tesla completed the task. Edison laughed it off, saying Tesla did not understand American humor. Tesla quit. That moment marked the beginning of one of the greatest rivalries in technological history. The war of currents had begun. Edison defended direct current, not because it was superior, but because he had built his empire upon it. Tesla aligned with industrialist George Westinghouse, who believed in alternating current. Together, they pushed AC forward, while Edison launched public fear campaigns, electrocuting animals and associating AC with death. Despite the resistance, Tesla's system proved unstoppable. Alternating current powered the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago in 1893, stunning millions with electric light on an unprecedented scale. Soon after, AC was used to harness the power of Niagara Falls and transmitting electricity over miles, something DC could never accomplish. Tesla had won the war, but not the peace. While others grew rich, Tesla remained indifferent to money. He sold his AC patents to Westinghouse for a lump sum, then later released the remaining royalties to save the company during financial hardship. This act cost him millions, perhaps billions, in future earnings. Tesla believed ideas belonged to humanity, not bank accounts. This belief would define his fate. With AC established, Tesla turned his mind toward even greater visions. He experimented with high-frequency currents, wireless transmission, radio waves, and resonance. In his laboratory, he created artificial lightning bolts, meters long. He lit lamps without wires. He spoke openly about transmitting power through the air, making energy available anywhere on Earth. Many dismissed him as a dreamer. Some called him dangerous. Tesla moved to Colorado Springs to conduct high-voltage experiments. There, he built massive coils, generating electrical discharges so powerful they caused sparks to jump through the air and blackouts across town. He believed the Earth itself could be used as a conductor, a resonance system, capable of transmitting energy and information globally. He detected signals he believed were extraterrestrial, though modern interpretation suggests they were likely natural radio emissions. Still, the idea of cosmic communication fascinated him deeply. At the turn of the century, Tesla returned to New York, determined to build his greatest project, the Wardenclyffe Tower, funded initially by J.P. Morgan. The tower was intended to transmit wireless communication and power across the globe. Tesla envisioned a world where information, energy, and connection flowed freely, without wires, borders, or cost. Morgan supported communication, but balked at free energy. When Tesla revealed his true intentions, funding was withdrawn. Wardenclyffe was never completed. The tower stood unfinished, a monument to ambition without backing. Eventually, it was dismantled for scrap to pay debts. Tesla watched his dream collapse, not because it was impossible, but because it was unprofitable. As years passed, Tesla became increasingly isolated. New technologies emerged, often echoing ideas he had already conceived: radio, radar, remote control. Yet others received credit. Guglielmo Marconi was awarded recognition for radio, though Tesla's patents predated his work only decades later. Did courts acknowledge Tesla's priority? But by then, he was gone. Tesla lived alone in New York hotels, feeding pigeons, developing peculiar habits and rigid routines. He avoided physical contact, disliked jewelry, and was obsessed with the number 3. He never married. Believing relationships distracted from his work, he claimed celibacy enhanced creativity. Whether this was belief or justification for loneliness remains unclear. Despite eccentricities, Tesla continued to think far ahead. He spoke of renewable energy, wireless communication, robotics, artificial intelligence, and even weapons that could end war by making it impossible. Some ideas were prophetic, others impractical, but all were rooted in a desire to reduce human suffering through technology. As the world moved toward global conflict, Tesla aged quietly. His fame faded, replaced by newer inventors, businessmen, and industrialists. He struggled financially, relying on small stipends and the kindness of a few supporters. He refused to commercialize his remaining ideas, insisting they were not ready or that humanity was not prepared. Nikola Tesla died alone. On January 7th, 1943, in room 3327 of the New Yorker Hotel. He was 86 years old. His death went largely unnoticed by the public. Shortly afterward, government officials seized his papers, citing national security. For years, rumors surrounded lost inventions and suppressed knowledge. Some of these claims were exaggerated, but the mystery added to his legend. In death, Tesla slowly returned to the spotlight. Scientists, historians, and engineers began to recognize the scale of his contributions. His name became synonymous with genius, innovation, and misunderstood brilliance. Streets, schools, units of measurement, and even modern companies would bear his name. Yet beyond the myth remains the man. A child shaped by lightning and loss, an inventor driven not by wealth, but by vision, a thinker who believed. The universe was a symphony of frequency and vibration, he once said. That, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. This was not poetry to him. It was physics, philosophy, and faith combined. Tesla did not seek to dominate the world. He sought to illuminate it. He did not conquer nations. He connected them. He did not build empires. He built systems. Many of the technologies that define modern life trace their roots to his mind, even if his name is not always spoken. When you turn on a light, when data travels invisibly through space, when machines respond to unseen signals, you are witnessing the echo of a man who lived before his time. A man who gave more than he received and dreamed bigger than the world allowed. This is not a story of noise. It is the story of silence that changed everything. If you'd like to see more stories like this, stay with us here on Vornex, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episodes. In the next video, we'll go after another mind that changed the world. See you there.